weapons, it's a big process. It doesn't, you know, if you train with a knife, you dedicate some time once a week just working with a knife, because there's a lot of techniques and a lot of practice has to be done working with weapons. In jiu-jitsu we use knives, short sticks, guns, because it's more practical application. But the secret is training, 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 training. The more you're familiar about the technique and do it without thinking. Because knowing technique is not enough. Executing it immediately without thinking, that's what saves your life. But if you know the technique, but you're not really comfortable as you're doing the thing, you think too much, you're dead. So with a knife, you have to be, it's done. To be 2, 3, 5 seconds. Okay? Because you'll catch you instantly. Ground is very important. Never underestimate fighting in the ground. You should be calm, because if you're fighting and you end up on the ground, you have to know how to defend yourself. You don't want to continue fighting on the ground. You know why? Cement is not good for your face. Right? So you wanna, if you only fight on the ground if you have to, and you lose your balance and you cannot get up, only then you fight on the ground. That's the only reason. But if you're planning to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu on the ground and cement, first of all, you're not training, you're not specializing on the ground. It makes a big difference. So their techniques, not techniques, almost the same. That's all they do is grappling in the ground. In traditional Jiu-Jitsu, we do everything. But whoever specializes in something specialized, that's what they specialize. Okay? So it's important. Also, you on the ground has limitations. You can only fight one person at a time on the ground. So if when you're grappling and fighting with somebody on the ground on the cement, his friend coming from behind you with a bottle, and hitting you and hitting you, and you're done. When you're standing and fighting, you have mobility, you can move around, you can see what's happening, you can manipulate the people in space around you. On the ground, only one-on-one. That's the reality. So if you end up on the ground, try to break away and stand up if you want to survive. Okay? But if you end up on the ground, you have to know how to defend yourself on the ground. When you fight on the ground, use the same principles you use when you're fighting standing. That's very, very important. Again, don't fight their game. Use your game, what you train. If you fight on the ground, you end up on cement. Don't try to play wrestling game. Go for the eye, throat, grab something, because you want to finish the fight. You don't want to prolong the fight. If the person has a better endurance and better technique, you're done. Ground takes a lot of energy. When you fight on the ground, you're going to find out how tiring it is. Different muscle groups are working. Different things you have to pay attention. So let's explore basic idea. So let's start from a simple idea. When you're grappling on the ground and training in a dojo, maybe you start with your knees like this, but you don't want to plan fight like this, because first of all, it's like if he's on his knees and I'm on my knees, it's like two bulls or two rocks going against each other. What happens when two rocks clash? Both of them will be destroyed, because two people trying to. There's nothing gonna happen here. Okay, somebody gonna get lose. Also, if I'm not that strong and I'm not lucky, if he pushes me back and I'm on my knees and I cannot pull my leg out as quickly as I should, guess what? My ligament is gonna rip in my knees. I'm done. And it happened before. That's why I'm telling you from experience. So when you start on the ground, if he pushes a little bit me back and I can't escape, you see how I'm trapped in here? My knees are destroyed. So get in the habit of getting one leg up. Gives you more stability, because you can kick, you can control him in here much easier, and it's much more safer. Also, by lifting my leg, I create space. So if something happens, see, I have space. With my leg, it's my insurance policy. So now you see how we extended? Because my leg is there. So get in the habit, once you start fighting, get the leg and immediately stick the leg into his hip by stretching it and making it weaker. Okay? He's extending. So the basic strategy is very, very important when it comes to nevaza, grappling on the ground. Also, you want to dominate your opponent as soon as possible on the ground. More than 50% of your victory depends how quickly you will dominate it from the beginning of the fight. Okay? So what that means is, if we're fighting, dominate, it means stretching, get in a domination position. When see how his hands extended? I'm ready to either do a classical armbar or it's already set up. Everything is there. Nothing to do with it. The armbar is there. I don't have to go to a classical armbar when I'm on my back and do armbar. What for? Okay? I just want to finish him as soon as possible. So if we're starting grappling, put my leg here, extend, it's done. It's a good position. He's not going anywhere. He's done. That's what we're going to try first. Lower your opponent, each of you, leg at his hip, stretch him out, and just easily go. Side armbar. Quick, efficient. Very efficient technique. So let's look one more time. So here, I stretch him out. And I want to move his face away from me. Gives me a better stretch of his neck. That's it. Simple. Life is very simple. So let's try it. Let's get a partner and let's do the first step. Idea about side control. Side control is very important for a person who's on top, because I have a good established good control over him. He has to spend more energy escaping from here. That's the advantage. I'm in control. If I'm fighting, I might hit him here, but he projects, he spends more energy than me trying to escape. First, maybe a couple seconds he's resting here, but if I correctly put my weight in his diaphragm, after 10 seconds, his air slowly leaving his body, he's getting tired. And then he starts realizing he has to escape and he's already losing oxygen. So for you, being in a side control is very important. Good control position, but you have to know certain important things. You have to control his hips. If you have no control of his hips, he will escape. Because the hips, they're the ones who create movement. So that's why you need this knee into his hip, you need this hand into his hip, so he's restricted in movement. I need to be tight in here. You see how my elbow is tight to his neck, making his life uncomfortable. The more, when you fight, the more you make your partner uncomfortable, the more mistakes he's gonna make. If he's too comfortable fighting you, why he should be tired, or he's not gonna make mistake. So when I'm even sitting here, pressing his diaphragm, getting his oxygen, making his life uncomfortable, maybe pushing it here, maybe you see how my thumb is here, and I'm not choking him, but he's already uncomfortable because he's thinking about this hand. He's not thinking of escaping. He's thinking about this hand because if I do more pressure, it will be half choke. It's not going to be complete choke, but it's already very uncomfortable. So when you're grappling, practicing your grappling, always make your partner uncomfortable. The more he's uncomfortable, the more mistake he's going to be doing on the ground because he's trying to escape. He can start getting nervous, trying to do more movement, which opens up things for me to do. Because when he starts moving, he starts pushing his hands in all directions, and that's when I start trapping him. All right. First of all, let's work about arm lock, udegarami. Never grab the hand like this. You're much weaker. It's much better if you have my thumb on my side. I'm much stronger this way. Also, here I'm not stable. I have to drop my elbow. That gives me stability. When I come for the arm lock, again, I need to pull his shoulder hand away from his body to create maximum pain. I cannot do the arm lock here. It doesn't hurt. I want to get maximum. I'm not going to get a second chance. Maximum is here. Pulling the hand away from him and lifting the hand. You don't want his hand be touching the ground. You want to pull away and lift to create maximum pressure on his shoulder. Because this arm lock is designed to dislocate his shoulder away from his body. That's what you're doing. That's your goal. Okay? So if you do it correctly, it's gonna hurt. So here, slide, pull away. Now, of course, he's not gonna give you the hand. You have to work for it. Because if he's an experienced fighter, he's gonna keep the hands tight. He's not gonna extend you the hand. So you have to make his life uncomfortable, so he needs to extend his hand. By putting the hand here, I'm making him to work. I'm making his life uncomfortable. See how he's already putting his hand here? He doesn't like that. So I'm making his life uncomfortable. So we're moving soon, so sooner or later, he's gonna be tired. And now you see what I did? I shift my weight to his hand. See, I'm not grabbing him, so my opponent doesn't expect him, but my weight slowly moving. Next step, if his hand is here, you don't want to just grab it and pull it. You don't want to tell him you're gonna attack. Instead, if his hand is here, see how I'm shooting? One motion, I'm not peeling the hand. One force, and here I'm just forcing it to the ground, like hitting a hammer. So I'm holding here instead of lifting, I'm just like nailing. Then I'm opening him up. So let's do this. Let's do a couple of times without resistance with your partner, when you're just experimenting, doing arma, and then once you do a couple of times on each side, with resistance, try to resist and let your partner find a way. Very important. Remember about the thumb position. In jiu-jitsu, every little angle makes a big difference. It's possible to do this way, but I'm much weaker. I'm much stronger when my thumb is on the side. Gives you much stronger leverage and tightness control. Okay? And if he's resisting in one motion, you can't fight him and he's gonna resist. One quick motion, and then you attack. And just, again, not in a class, but when you're doing it correctly, one motion. You don't wanna, it takes time. It has to be one jerky motion to pull the hand into the arm lock. Kimura is designed when the hand is low to do the arm lock when it's low. Because when the hand is up, you do the arm lock this way. When the hand is down, you do the arm lock when the hand is. The reason the hand is here, because he doesn't want to give you the hand, so he might grab his clothes or his belt. So you have to do the arm lock in here. The Kimura, from a judo perspective, was doing one way. Jiu-jitsu will do it a little bit different, more efficient. And I will show you two ways to do Kimura: judo way and jiu-jitsu way. But our approach is a little bit. First of all, you don't want to fight the hand. Hold it. You think it's easy to pull the hand away from him? It takes a lot of energy. So we have to find a way to make our life easy. So what I do is I use my whole hand becomes like a cup. So instead of sliding him, I slide my hand in here and I bring him to me. I'm much stronger and better this way than fight him on the ground trying to pull this hand from here. I'm fighting his weight and the gravity of the earth by pulling it while my body is falling down. It's so hard to do. Why waste your energy and strength? I bring him to me. See how I roll him? Look at my knee. My leg is controlling his hips. So he wouldn't go too far away from me. I'm holding it here and I just have to reach with this hand, lock my own hand and do Kimura. Well, this is a judo way, pulling it this way. See how strong he's holding? He's still holding it. What if I change the technique? Instead of shifting my hands, this hand takes its space, that's this. And then I have much stronger leverage to do it. I just increase my force double. Okay? So the judo way is holding it here, just grab it here because it's quick, and you do this, but it's still you have to work. What if you just change it? And my leverage is much stronger in here. Much stronger. See how your body lifts to the front? So we'll do 2 variations. I want you to be comfortable with 2 variations. But not from the ground, rolling the person to you gives you a much better fighting chance and leverage. So again, you're on the side control. Use this hand, goes under his elbow like a cup. You roll him, and he cannot resist. You just roll him to you on the side. Your leg is here, and you reach, turn it left, and try 2 variations. Alright, so one more time. We have 2 ways of doing it. But you start same way. If you want to be, we're looking for efficiency, okay? We can do it on the ground, but it's not efficient. So efficient would be bring him to me. Okay? So now I'm much stronger, he's weaker because he's on his side. Go one way, and I'm just here. Or, just don't drop the hands till you slide his hand through, and you become much stronger. Okay? So it's called Kimura. Let's talk about chokes. The beauty of chokes, they work standing and they work on the ground. You can use the same chokes. We can choke somebody up front, we can choke on the side, we can choke on the back. We can use the gi or we can use the hands. But today we focus with the gi. There's many variations of chokes exist, okay? But some of the chokes are not efficient. So I prefer to teach only 3 or 4 instead of teaching 5 and 10. Because I like something that works and it's been proven and it's efficient. So let's take maybe 2 or 3 chokes and we'll look at them in detail. When you choke somebody, you need to bring your opponent to you. You cannot choke somebody with a straight hands. So rule number 1, don't choke somebody with a straight hands. Your hands has to be bent, because when the hands are bent and closer to you, you're maximizing your leverage. You're much stronger this way than this way, okay? Because chokes, it's not just techniques, it's also you have to use a little strength. That's why you need to have strong forearms. Alright. Before you do any choke, you have to prepare your opponent. You can't just come in and start choking him. By preparing, I just grabbed the gi, he's not still threatened yet, but I'm opening up, creating space. But if I grab here, he'll already be nervous. He thinks, oh, something's gonna happen, he's gonna choke him. I'm just opening, creating a nice space. So the first choke we're gonna do when my thumb is gonna be down. Okay? Makes a big difference between thumb up or thumb down. So I open space, thumb is down, like climbing a rope. Sliding it all the way to the end, because there is no space. If there is a space in here, he's not going to be choked. So, open, slide all the way to the end, till it cannot go anywhere. Okay? This hand will go under, and then I'm going to bring him to me. Okay? Just one motion, I bring him to me, and I pull it here. Just one more motion. That makes a big difference. So I open, slide all the way to the end, like pulling a rope, and my hand is here under, and I'm bringing it to me. Now, you get these good wrestlers whose neck is like this, and they drop their chin. It's so hard to go into the choking area. It's not a problem if you do it correctly. So if he drops his chin down, that's why I have my forearm. With my forearm, I move his chin to the side. Okay? So don't panic if your opponent drops your chin down. You have this nice strong leverage of your forearm to pull the chin to the side. Let's move it so other people can see it from the side. So I open space, slide all the way to the end, go under.
Okay? When I go under, my thumb is up. And I just bring him to me. Okay? I'm showing you the beginning stages. Like this, I'm never gonna choke him like this. Imagine you're like a snake. Okay? You wanna bring him to you like a ball. I wanna swallow him. Okay? Because here, he's gonna resist. He might put the leg, he might move around. So before I choke him, I need to bring him as closer as possible to me. You want to prepare him. If he's too far away, again, his choke is not going to work. So I'm preparing him. So when we're grappling, I'm bringing him to me. Once he gets here, now I'm setting him up, he's ready. Now coming for a choke, not letting him to escape. Okay? So it's very important. Choking only happens at the end. You have to take steps to prepare your opponent. Like again, like with knives, he's not going to give you a second choice. He's an experienced fighter. You're only going to have one choice to catch him in the choke. Then he will know your trick and he's going to try to avoid to get into the trick position. So you prepare him. You lower him to you, bending your hands, and then when you choke, a true choke, it's 3 seconds. And it's done. If you're choking him and it takes 10-20 seconds, it's too late. You're not choking him. Okay? The true choke happens once. So when I'm grappling with somebody, when I'm lowering him in, lower, this is a choke. One motion. That's a true choke. Okay, let's try it.